Superman. Very truly yours, Clark Kent. Superman. Superman by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. Superman, America's greatest adventure strip character. Superman by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. When a crafty murderer mercilessly pins the guilt for his crime on Lois Lane, things look mighty dark for the Daily Planet girl reporter. But the calculating killer has made one fatal miscalculation. He has reckoned without the interference of Superman, mighty champion of justice and the oppressed. Editorial room of the Daily Planet, Metropolis's leading newspaper. What a day. Not one bit of interesting news stirring. Are you forgetting, my esteemed fellow journalist, that when there's nothing important to write about, a good reporter sallies forth and digs up a story somewhere, somehow? Norval the jewel collector should make good copy. He keeps priceless gems in his own home and has rigged up fantastic devices to protect them. No one answers, and the door is open. I'll walk right in. But as Lois enters, she is suddenly seized from behind. A chloroform-soaked cloth is pressed against her nostrils until her struggles lessen and she drops off into unconsciousness. Any news to speak of here at police headquarters, Sergeant Casey? You want excitement? Come along. What's it all about, Sergeant Casey? We just got an anonymous telephone tip that there's trouble over at Norval's home. As the patrol car slows to turn a corner, a huge figure leaps to the running board and climbs within. Scoop Carter of the Morning Pictorial? Move over, gents. Make way for a real reporter. How did you know I was on an important case? Lil Scoopsy always manages to show up wherever there's a big story breaking. Right, Clark, old kid? You do have a most annoying habit of turning up when you're not wanted. When they reach their destination. What the? Half a dozen doors. Now which will lead to where? Peculiar buzzard, Norval. I'd say anyone who'd build a home like this was kinda lean in the bean. My X-ray eyesight will inform me which door we should enter. As Clark stares intently, the doors seem to melt away. After they pass through the door Kent has indicated. Norval. Shot through the back. Murdered. Wow, where's a phone? Get this, and if you leave out even a word, I pity you. Scoop Carter, the Morning Pictorial's ace reporter, was present this morning when the body of Samuel Norval. Hurry with that telephone. Remember, I've got to phone in my story too. 5 minutes later, when Carter finishes. Can I have it now? Sure. Here. Oops. But you've broken the line. I can't send in my story. Careless of me. Eh, what? If Norval had placed his confidence in trustworthy guards instead of mechanical protective devices, he might still be alive. Behind one of those doors, my super acute hearing detects breathing. Casey, I heard a sound behind that door. Lois! It's Miss Lane, of the Daily Planet. My head. How did you get here? I remember entering. Then everything went black. You'll have to think of something more convincing than that. Don't remember a thing, eh? And I suppose you've forgotten about placing these uncut gems in your pocketbook. Uncut gems? But I never saw them before. Lois wouldn't lie, Casey. Surely you don't think. I'm sorry, but I'll have to arrest you for the murder of Norval. You came here to steal those gems and killed Norval when he surprised you. You were trapped by those trick doors that automatically lock from the outside. Daily Planet reporter accused of murder? Doggone it! Why did I ruin that telephone? But this is monstrous! You can't believe... But I do. Come along. You're going to headquarters. Wait, let me talk to Clark. Please. Clark, you've gotta help me. Believe me, Lois. I'll do everything I can. In that case, Lois, you're out of luck. He can't even help himself, let alone anyone else. As the police car drives off, Clark quickly strips off his outer garments and stands revealed in his true identity as Superman. Naturally, Lois is innocent, but I'll have to act fast before it's too late. A tremendous leap, and Superman alights behind the auto that is taking Lois to prison. This calls for drastic measures. Heaving back, Superman restrains the powerful machine from moving. You don't budge another inch. Huh? That's strange. We're not moving. Nothing wrong here. And no rocks holding it back. I can't figure it out. Who? Don't mind me. I'm just a spectator. Mind if I move? It's getting kind of crowded on your side of the car. What? Superman! Right, Lois. Let's go for a sky ride. As Superman springs off with Lois, he is followed by a fusillade of shots. Get that guy! Don't let him escape! But the bullets bounce harmlessly off the Man of Steel's body as he protects Lois's figure with his own. Why are you doing this? For all you know, I am guilty. I happen to know you couldn't be capable of such a crime. You're a strange fellow. Outside of your super strength, I mean. You continually act as though I don't mean a thing to you. And yet you always manage to show up and help me when I get into difficulties. I do the same for anyone in trouble. Shortly after, they alight atop Norval's home. But sometimes, I seem to sense that you care for me more than you want me to believe. There is no time for talk of that sort. You're forgetting that you are faced with a murder charge. The first thing I'm going to do is destroy these handcuffs. That's much better. Can you add anything to the story you've already related of being rendered unconscious when you entered the house? Not a thing. Everything went black after that. Wait there. I'm going to search for some clues. This is to draw the guards out of the house. What was that noise? It worked. As Superman enters the murder room, on the revolver and desk drawer, fingerprints. But the Man of Tomorrow's photographic memory recalls. They're Lois's, which makes it even more incriminating for her. And clutched in his hand, a small fragment of Lois's dress. The policemen return toward the room, accompanied by Sergeant Casey. I told you men not to leave that room! But we heard the noise and rushed out to investigate. The wind must have blown over that vase. Then it must have been a mighty strong wind. The police. Returning. It's the guy who escaped with the Lane girl. Don't let him get away. I've no intention of leaving. Yet. Wanna play catch, eh? Here are your bullets back. You can see that you can't capture me. So, let's talk this over peaceably. I've heard unbelievable tales about your super strength. I never believed them. And even now, when I see evidence of it before my very eyes, I still can't believe it. Whatever your motives are, I insist you return that girl to our custody. She's committed a foul crime, and she has to pay for it. I propose to prove to you, within a minimum of time, that Lois Lane is innocent. Who else might have profited by Norval's death? Let me see. That would include Norval's two nephews, John and Henry Davis. This place is bursting with trick doors and secret panels. I suggest we have Berkeley the architect here to show us around. Leave it to me. Minutes later, the Man of Steel catches onto a windowsill on the side of John Davis's home. Casey will have his suspects in record time. No one here. He's gone. An airplane timetable with the plane for Lakeland underlined. Superman speeds through the sky at such a terrific speed, his figure appears to blur. There she is, on the horizon, the Lakeland-bound plane. Seconds later, the Man of Tomorrow secures a grip on the airplane's emergency door and forces it inward. In you go. Where did you come from? Which one of you is John Davis? Me? But why? Who? You're coming with me. Stop him! Help me! He's going to kill me! But before the other passengers can interfere, Superman springs out of the plane with his screaming burden. Ah! Quiet. You won't be harmed. A man-like creature has kidnapped one of the passengers. After them. Just look at them soaring through the sky. It's incredible. But though the plane hits as high a speed as 250 miles per hour, Superman easily outdistances it. Don't go so fast. I can hardly breathe. You'll manage. Why were you flying to Lakeland? My uncle telephoned. Said he had tickets for a flight to Lakeland. That he had changed his mind. And that I could go in his place if I cared to. Alighting, Superman knocks at the door of Henry Davis's home. Henry too? What are you going to do with us? You'll learn. In time. What the Man of Steel's X-ray vision reveals to him. Someone at the door. I'd better hide this. One side, please. Stop! You can't do that! A valuable necklace. And may I inquire where you got it? That's none of your affair. Get out of here, or... You haven't answered me. You'd better tell him, Henry. You're dealing with a madman. If you must know, my uncle sent it over. Then phoned and told me he wanted me to sell it for him, but didn't want others to know he was selling any part of his collection. I know a certain party who will be interested in that story. Off streaks Superman. Where are we going now? To pay our respects to Berkeley, the architect. Sprawled upon a couch on his penthouse terrace, the weary Berkeley sees. That shadow. What? You're coming with us. Go away. Can't you see I'm exhausted? I've been working all night long on a rush job, and now I'd like some rest. You can rest all you want, with the air as a pillow. Who is he? Where is this fantastic being taking us? We don't know either. Here are the men you want, Sergeant. Back? So soon? Superman pauses, clinging vine-like to the wall, to overhear developments. I'm taking a desperate gamble that Norval's killer is one of the men in that room. Here's another suspect, Sergeant. A guard Norval fired a few weeks ago. Let me go. I ain't done nothing. Just because he decided he didn't need me doesn't mean I had it in for him. Whether you're innocent remains to be seen. A few moments later. The girl. Shall I grab her? That won't be necessary. Lois has returned of her own free will. I'm going to ask everyone here a few questions first. Then, I'll decide what to do about the girl. So you're the great Superman, eh? If you ask me, you're 99% bluff. No one asked you. But since you brought the matter up, still think so? No. Your telephone alibis can't be proved, and I notice you don't seem particularly sad about your uncle's death. You might as well know it. There was not much affection between Norval and ourselves. But that doesn't mean we'd murder him. What protective measures did you design for this house? Following the old man's instructions, I had rooms queerly placed with doors spring-locked from the outside, so that an intruder would be quickly trapped. Like Lois was. That's not true! How dare you say things like that when you can't prove them? What's this? Huh? As Superman hides his discovery under his cloak. What have you got there? If you'll step out of the room with me, I'll tell you. Why all the secrecy? Mind if I come along? You stay right here. Is there a photographic laboratory room in this house? Yes. Why? While Superman and the Sergeant are gone, a tense atmosphere envelops the room they have left. Do you think Superman could have discovered a clue to the murderer's identity? It looks that way. Photographic laboratory. Raise your hands, Berkeley. You're under arrest for the murder of Norval. Me? You're mad. Don't attempt to deny it. Superman located a camera hidden in the clock. It was adjusted so that the sound of gunfire would cause it to take a picture. We developed the negative, and the result was a picture of you shooting Norval. Give me that gun! Stop him! Don't move, any of you. Yes, I killed Norval, stole his jewels, and I had intended to throw the blame on the nephews, and so telephoned them, disguising my voice. But when the Lane girl walked right in, I decided it would be better to pin the killing on her. I told you I was innocent. And now to get out of here, you'll never catch me. Positive about that? Out of my way, you! Drop that gun! I meant exactly what I said. Give it to him, Superman! The cold-blooded killer. Get up, you! You're going straight to jail. You're not so smart. You and that strong guy. You never have caught me if it hadn't been for that trick camera. That's where you're wrong. There never was such a camera. Once I got the sergeant out in the hall, I confided my suspicions and plan to him, and he agreed to play ball. But how did you know Berkeley was the killer? I didn't, but I had to take a chance on accusing him. I pride myself on being a judge of character, and if Berkeley hadn't been the killer, things looked pretty bad for you. Again, I've reason to be grateful to you. In the future, Lois, please try to keep away from murder charges. They can prove quite embarrassing if you can't be cleared. Later. I've got it, Lois. A bail bond. Now you won't have to go to jail. You're too late, Clark. As usual. Superman completely cleared me. As Lois uses the spare phone. You've already telephoned in your story. Will you please stop describing your new dress to the fashion editor and let me at the phone so I can telephone my paper? The end. Superman by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. Racketeer terror, grim, ruthless, descends upon peaceable Gateston. Beatings, bombings face businessmen who refuse to be intimidated by evil brute Bashby. Into this setup barges the foe of all injustice, Superman. A lazy summer afternoon is disrupted when a caravan of sedans careen into the small city of Gateston at breakneck speed. Skidding to an abrupt stop before the Baridi Hotel, the cars empty a cargo of hard, tough-looking characters. A cheap-looking joint, but it will do for the time being. Not Brute Bashby. The racket. One and the same. Me and the boys has decided to pay your squirt of a town a friendly visit. Any objections? Not at all. Glad to see you. Now that's more like it. Brute sure knows how to break the ice. Wonder what them hoodlums is doing here. Don't like the looks of it nohow. Sheriff ought to run 'em out. Next day, citizens learn the meaning of the visit. Me and the boys aim to start a little association to protect you from trouble. All you gotta do is hand over 10% of your profits. What do you say? I will not. I have no trouble to fear. Been in business for 22 years, and not a speck of it. Then here's where your troubles begin. Stop! Stop! You're wrecking my store! During the ensuing days, Gateston is treated to a series of outrages. Warehouses flame in the night's darkness. Buses, their mechanism tampered with, crash. Workers are beaten. And within record time. Well, boys, we practically got the whole town under our thumb. How's that for organization? Swell. It's the old Bashby touch. Jim Terrell, editor of the Gateston Gazette, declares war on the big city racketeers. Careful, Jim. Remember, you're dealing with thieves and gangsters. They've been having their way too long. That trash must go. Gazette launches campaign to free city of rackets. I don't like this at all. That Terrell guy might make things plenty hot for us. Why don't you throw a scare into that hick editor? He ain't the kind to scare easily. Nah. We'll have to get rid of him the permanent way. Editorial Office of the Metropolis Daily Planet. Been reading this battle between the Gateston Gazette and the racketeers of that city? Haven't missed an issue. Tyrell has my admiration. Well, I think the situation in Gateston would make good copy for our paper. Now, I want you two to hop down there and work right with Tyrell in his office. Just leave it to us, Taylor. Right. When the Gateston-bound train drops the two reporters off at their destination. I'm Dick Daniels of the Gazette. I presume you're Lane and Kent of the Planet. It's nice of you to meet us. Let's stroll over to the office. Anything you can tell us off the record? Not much. Just that Tyrell and I both are firmly convinced that Bashby is fronting for some other individual. A secret mastermind, eh? Sounds nice and melodramatic. So that's the Gazette. Quite a puny outfit to be bucking a gent like Bashby. See that car turning into the building? Tyrell is driving. Suddenly, a terrific blast, and the newspaper building wavers as though struck by a fit. The reporters dash in to discover Tyrell dead. How terrible! Gangsters did this, and I'll bet I could name the gent directly responsible. Jim must have discovered some important incriminating evidence to merit this. And they killed him for it. The murderers. I want you to know that we pledge our assistance until Tyrell's slayers are brought to justice. Spectators dash into the building, drawn by the disturbance. This is tragic. Tragic! Meet Morden Twist, a local lawyer who heads the Citizens Committee, which is cooperating with the paper to rid the city of racketeering. We must see to it that there's no reoccurrence of such a ghastly crime. At that moment, another explosion. The printing room! Wrecked! Mighty thorough, those gangsters. I suppose you know what this means. The newspaper will have to cease publication. No, it won't. I'll see to it that it is back in operation within a few hours. You? What can you do about it? Clark puts through a long-distance call to the publisher of the Planet. It's like this, Mr. Mason. Racketeers have destroyed the Gateston Gazette printing equipment. If you would extend credit, so that new equipment could be... Credit nothing. I'll send printing equipment to Gateston via freight truck at once. And at no charge. You have my best wishes in your anti-racketeer campaign. After informing the others of the good news, Clark retires to a secluded spot and changes into his Superman garments. Equipment on its way. That's grand. But first, I've a little house cleaning to do in preparation. Springing to the scene of the explosion, Superman flings smashed equipment into an adjoining empty lot. The answer to a housewife's prayer. His task completed within moments, Superman springs away, leaving the press room spick and span. And now for an even more important job. Zooming through the sky like a rocket, Superman soon sights the object of his search. The freight truck loaded with printing equipment for the Gazette. It's about to be forced off the road. As a gangster-filled car rams the truck, both fall off the cliff. Only time to save one of them. Catching the truck, Superman's mighty muscles cushion the shock of its fall, but the other car smashes, then is engulfed in flames. A well-deserved fate. Holding the huge truck overhead, Superman races toward Gateston at breathtaking speed. If I'd arrived a moment later, the Gazette would still be without equipment. Upon reaching the newspaper office, Superman single-handedly sets the massive presses into place. Wow, is he strong? Strong? There ain't no word to describe it. Start those presses. They're all set to run. Later, as Clark busily bangs out a story. What's that you said? I said clear out of here. Well. Get out? What authority have... And who are you? I'm George Terrell, James's brother. I've just arrived in town, and what do I find? Two complete strangers running this outfit like they own it. Get out! When they reach the hotel, Clark is informed a telephone call awaits him. He answers it. Never mind who this is. An important conference between Bashby and an intended victim is being held at the Gateston Hardware Company. Thanks for the tip-off. But as Clark and Lois drive toward the factory, Kent glimpses that car trailing us. I've a hunch they intend forcing us off the bridge. Deftly, Clark touches a certain nerve at the rear of Lois's neck. She lapses into unconsciousness. That's so you won't witness what follows. As the sedan swerves over to force Kent's car off, Clark kicks out with such force that the other car is flung clear off the bridge. Shortly after, Lois revives. What happened? You passed out. From the heat, no doubt. The two reporters burst in on a tense scene. Introduce us, Twist. This is Calvin Culmers, owner of this company. I represent him as the firm's lawyer. Clark Kent and Lois Lane. Reporters, eh? You don't need any introduction. That pan of yours is a dead giveaway. You're Brute Bashby. That's me. Kent and Lane. You seem surprised to see us. And why not? Since you ordered your men to make that phone call, then kill us on our way here. Get 'em out! I don't want no snooping reporters around. This is my factory, and I insist they stay here. If anyone's not wanted here, it's you. Careful, don't provoke him. Are ya or ain't ya gonna join my protective organization? I haven't decided yet. Better join, or he and his hoodlums may ruin your business. Thanks for the help, pal. Help nothing. Someday, I'm going to get the goods on you, Brute Bashby. And when I do, by heavens, I'll place you behind the bars where you belong. Are you going to let this cheap crook's threats intimidate you? Refuse him flat. By George, I will. Cheap crook, am I? This is just a sample of what you're going to get. Ugh. Give it to him, Clark. Don't let him do that to you. After Bashby and Twist depart, Clark leaves also. I've gotta go now. Something important. Go ahead. But I know the real reason why you're running out. You don't want to be around when Brute's toughs go into action. We've nothing to fear. The factory yard is crowded with my workmen, who have orders to resist the racketeering. When he is a distance from the hardware factory, Clark changes to his Superman costume. I'd better keep my eyes on Brute. He's up to no good. There he goes. Into that drugstore. You heard me. Get going. And when you finish with that factory, I don't want a stick left standing. Destroy it completely. Minutes later, trucks driven by Bashby's henchmen smash the factory's gates. Leaping down, Superman catches the massive gates before they strike Earth. I've a use for these. Then forces the trucks back with them. Back! You're not wanted here. Raising one huge truck, Superman whirls it across the hood of another truck so that the entrance is blocked. That ought to hold you. As a mob of hoodlums belabor a fallen worker, Superman streaks into their midst, sending the racketeers flying in all directions. If you must gang up on one man, why not try it on me? Get that guy! Haven't had enough, eh? Snatching all the machine guns with lightning-like speed, Superman crushes them into a metal mass. I'd like to do this to every weapon in the world. And flings it at a truck which is attempting to run down one of the battling workers. Bullseye. Ripping a section of the wire fence free, Superman swiftly encircles the racketeers within it so that they are helplessly imprisoned. How's that? Wow, just look at that. Let us out! Amidst the excitement, two hoodlums who have managed to elude the Man of Tomorrow sneak into the factory. Quick, now's our chance. First we finish off Calmers, then the girl. Neatly trapped. Better say your prayers. You wouldn't shoot. No, don't do it. Playing truant, eh? Ugh. We're saved. It's Superman. Ouch. Let go. Anything to oblige. Ah! As the police arrive and take charge of the racketeers, Lois departs. You'd better remain here. It might be dangerous for you to leave. I'm used to danger. Lois, entering the Baridi Hotel. What an amazing faculty that girl has for getting into mischief. Come now, can you think of anything suspicious in Bashby's actions on the day Terrell was slain? Well, I do remember that on that day, James Terrell emerged from a conference in Bashby's room with Brood, and another man whose face I didn't see. Excited by this news, Lois breaks into Brood's room and is going through his belongings when... Someone's coming. That's funny. Unlocked. I saw a car outside with a newspaper sticker on the windshield. Do you think... Get out of there! Miss Lane. It's as I suspected. You, Twist, are the mastermind behind Brood. You took your position as head of the Citizens Committee only as a blind to cover up your nefarious deeds. You're raving, woman. And you'd better be careful about making accusations you can't prove. He doesn't fool me a bit, I tell you. Both of you will get what... Go on. Clear out of here before I call the house Dick. Laugh at me, will they? I'll show them. When I finish with them, they'll find themselves seated in the electric chair. Suddenly, down plummets Superman. Don't start that car! What? But why? Never mind. Walk to the Gazette. Have the police chief on hand, and hold the presses. And shortly after, where'd you come from? What you'd better worry about, Brute, is where we're going. I'm not leaving here. That's what you think. Moments later, Superman swoops down to scoop up another passenger. Hey! Room for one more. Landing near the newspaper car, the Man of Steel forces the two into it. Start the car. No. No. Yes. Minutes later, the car drives up the ramp which leads into the newspaper building. Now, pull the emergency brake. For gosh sakes, Twist, don't do it. No, I can't. Then I'll pull it. He attached a bomb to the brake. Don't, we'll be blown to bits. There's the solution to James Terrell's death, Chief. They fixed his car in the same manner. You're both under arrest for murder. You killed my brother. You! Later, when Clark enters the building. I've already wired the story to the Planet, Clark, and we've received congratulations from Taylor. And to think I suspected you. I thought you resembled a criminal named Gallon. I took the name Gallon when I entered prison, framed by Bashby. When I came to run my murdered brother's paper, I fired you because I thought you might be members of Bashby's gang. Now, I've only thanks to offer you. The end. Superman by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. Terror stalks San Coloma, a small South American country, as it is ravaged by earthquake and tornado. When nature's fury ebbs, the populace is left in miserable circumstances. Death, disease, and hunger stalk the land. In the United States, sympathy is demonstrated in a practical manner. Donations for the suffering citizens of San Coloma have been gratifying. Immediate aid and supplies will be rushed. Office of George Taylor, editor of Metropolis's crusading newspaper, The Daily Planet. Clark, I want you to cover the departure of the relief ship for San Coloma. Okay, Chief. But first, I'll stop off at the airport and get a statement from the arriving Relief Commission officials. Meanwhile, in the plane carrying the officials to the flying field. Another moment, and the time to strike will have arrived. Suddenly. Stop it! Have you gone crazy? We'll all die. Hear me? All of us! Crazy as a loon. The controls. Out of order. Out of control, the great plane swoops down toward the flying field, and an inevitable crash. Among the horrified spectators on the field is Kent. Good heavens, it's going to crash! Not if I can help it. Clark's telescopic vision reveals the pilot madly battling to regain control of the plane. Leaping within the shadows of a hangar, Clark hurriedly slips off his outer garments. Not a moment to lose. And next moment stands revealed in his Superman costume, ready for action. Now to do something about it. Destruction appears certain. Abruptly, a high steeple looms directly in the airplane's path. Out onto the field races Superman at terrific speed. Is that a man? Appears more like a streak of light. A tremendous upward leap. Just seconds in which to make it. Carries Superman directly into the plane's path. Here goes. Split seconds before the expected crash, the Man of Tomorrow leaps beneath the hurtling plane and gives it a great upward shove that sends it above the steeple. That did it. A new menace. As a transport plane descends toward the field, it can be seen that the two planes will collide in mid-air. Superman strikes Earth. Not pausing, he somersaults back up into the sky. It seems my task isn't done. Upward he streaks, every muscle straining. By a long shot. As the two planes near, the Man of Steel seizes the nearest plane's tail end and heaves it back mightily. Hold it! He succeeds in slowing it sufficiently so that the crash is averted. Whew! Close. As the pilot regains control of his ship, Superman loosens his grip on the plane and plummets earthward like a leaden weight. And that's that. Guess I can take my leave now. But as spectators rush toward the spot where he will land. The fools! I'm likely to fall upon them and crush them! Seizing the sides of his cape, Superman navigates it like a sail so that he swoops out of sight in a giant curve before onlookers can quite understand what is happening. Look at him go! Just like a rocket! Down behind screening foliage drops the Man of Tomorrow. A job well done. But now, I've got to attend to my duties as a reporter. Back he races, unobserved, to the spot where he had secreted his clothes and dons them. Exit Superman, enter Clark Kent. As Clark joins the spectators beside the safely landed plane. There's the man responsible. Get a policeman. What's going on here? He wrecked the plane's mechanism. Why did you do it? Why? I won't tell you. You'll never know. Let me take care of him. As the mechanic is led off to prison. Just a few questions, gentlemen, for the press. Sorry, haven't time. We're already late for the opening ceremonies. Clark trails the officials to the dock and listens to the sailing addresses. I want to take this opportunity to thank all of you for having given generously. It's encouraging, these days, to find that mankind still has sympathy for its unfortunate fellow men. After the speeches. That's funny. 15 minutes, and the boat hasn't pulled out yet. It does look as though there's some excitement aboard, delaying it. Clark avails himself of his X-ray vision and makes a startling discovery. What's this? Within the vessel's engine room. Someone's tampered with the engines. We won't be able to pull out for a week. A week? This is disastrous. First telephoning in his story, Clark returns to his apartment. That's odd. I distinctly remember closing that drawer, and yet it's open. Oh well, probably it's nothing of importance. Clark starts to change into his Superman costume. Attempted destruction of the officials. Crippling of the relief ship. One man can tell me who is responsible. The mechanic who smashed the airplane's controls. And I'll get the information out of him. Turn around and keep your hands up. A sneak thief? You butted in while I was in the middle of my work, but maybe this'll make it even more profitable for me. Good grief. He's seen the transition from Clark Kent, meek reporter, to Superman. If he suspects. Where's your dough? That's none of your affair. Smart punk, eh? Better talk, or I may shoot. But your pistol shot would draw the attention of the neighbors. What do you think I got a silencer for? By the way, what's the idea of the dopey costume? Going to a masquerade? Guess again. No more of that. Don't move or I'll blow your brains out. At least you're explicit. Funny. That costume looks familiar. I could swear I seen or heard of you before. But where? Where? That's what I don't know. You're in the wrong profession, my good man. You want to conduct a quiz radio program. I warned you. Fall. Go ahead. Why don't you fall dead? Perhaps that first bullet didn't take effect. Try again. The thief fires again, again, and again. I will blast you! And you see, I'm still unharmed. Have you any idea who I am now? Who are you? Wait, let me think. Superman! Right that time. But cunning swiftly replaces fear. So, you're Superman, and I'm the only one what knows it. You're gonna have to pay plenty, and often, if you want it kept a secret. Blackmail, eh? Hasn't it occurred to you that I could easily snap your neck with these fingers, and I'd never have to worry about being exposed? You wouldn't. No, no, keep away! Help! Help me! Superman's after me, and I know who he is! What's all the noise? Stop that shouting! Swiftly, Superman whips on his civilian garments. If I don't reach that sneak thief in time, he's likely to babble all he knows. You say you know who Superman is? Quick, what's his real name? May I get in on this? His name is... Oh! Ah! The burglar stumbles at the top of the stairs, and... when the others reach his side... Tell us, who is he? Superman is... He's dead. And so passes the one man who might have revealed my true identity to the world. Shortly after, a cloaked figure leaps up into the sky out of Clark's apartment window. Now to go on from where I was interrupted. And minutes later, a human battering ram breaks into the city jail. Sorry to do this, but it's absolutely necessary. Who hired you? You'd better tell me, or... You're the fantastic guy who saved the plane. I'll talk. Only don't harm me. Toward the mechanic's cell steals a guard who is in the pay of the enemy. Voices. From his cell. I'd better investigate. Go ahead. Out with it. But first you must promise not to... Die, traitor. As Superman charges into a hail of bullets, one of them ricochets back off the stone wall, killing the assassin. A murderer's fate. Balked, Superman attempts another move. Racing to the dock where the crippled relief ship is moored, he dives into the ocean and shoves the massive bulk of the great vessel seaward. Get along. This is better than a toy boat. One of the astonished onlookers on shore who had observed the amazing phenomenon dashes for a telephone. A lone man shoving the relief boat out of dock. I tell you, I saw it with my own eyes. Captain, look! By gosh, it's a demon. As the terrified seamen fire at the monster. Don't want to be friendly, eh? Superman continues his task underwater. An hour later. No sign of him. He couldn't stay underwater that long and live. But the craft's still moving. You can't deny that, Captain. He must be alive. A plane! Help! Help! That's right. Everybody yell. Try to attract its attention. But beneath the waves. A plane. Now for a close-up with my telescopic vision. Superman sights bomb racks. The Man of Steel leaps to the attack. It's an enemy. Seizing hold of the airplane's bottom, Superman tears at the racks so that the bombs fall. Down, you devils of destruction! Harmlessly into the ocean. But one bomb heads toward a direct hit. Swooping down alongside the falling bomb, Superman strikes it so that it explodes harmlessly in the air. Just like the 4th of July. Alighting on the ship, Superman leaps back up in pursuit of the plane. Now to give him a taste of destruction. As he overtakes it, the pilot, noting capture is inevitable, dives to the sea, destroying both the plane and himself. Once again, Superman shoves the relief ship. When it reaches San Coloma, he springs away. He was trying to help us all the time, and to think we shot at him. He got the relief supplies here in record time. 3 cheers for him, men! Later, when Clark returns to the planet. Where's Lois? You couldn't be located, so I sent her to cover the loading of the second relief ship. Meanwhile, Lois wanders into the supply warehouse to discover arsonists burning the relief supplies. Get that girl. But if we leave her here, she'll burn to death. Dead people can't testify. As Superman arrives on the scene, he halts the fleeing thugs. But, you heard me. Turn the hose on that fire. Lois revives. Help! Help me! Just in the nick of time. Superman! As the thugs prepare to flee, a dark car speeds by, riddling them with bullets. Don't! We were forced to— Ah! Die, traitors! Who did it? Our boss, Mumson, in that car. He thought we double-crossed him. Leaping high in the sky, Superman trails the auto and watches its occupants enter an isolated building. Now to steal closer and get an earful. What the Man of Steel overhears. You hear? None of that food which reached San Coloma must be distributed. When the country is groveling at my feet, I shall distribute food, but only if the citizens permit me to take over the government. What? I'm going to take you over, Mumson. But first, I'll attend to this radio apparatus. You'll never get this evidence. Leaping forward, Superman thrusts his hand into the blazing furnace and removes the incriminating papers before they can be completely destroyed. Think again. This evidence will expose your fiendish plot. You'll reveal nothing, because we're both going to die. A terrific explosion. Unharmed, but I can't say the same for Mumson. Later, at the Daily Planet. Congratulations, Clark, on a magnificent scoop. Relief supplies will now be able to reach San Coloma without interference. Thanks to Superman. The end. Superman by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. Leaping over skyscrapers, running faster than an express train, springing great distances and heights, lifting and smashing tremendous weights, possessing an impenetrable skin. These are the amazing attributes of which Superman, champion of the helpless and oppressed, avails himself as he battles the forces of evil and injustice. Grimes Brothers, a brand new department store in Metropolis, is crammed with customers upon its opening day. Suddenly, cries of horror strike the air as... Look, the walls! They're collapsing! Help! Help! Let me out! Editorial Office of the Daily Planet. A catastrophe down at Grimes Brothers. Get down there, Clark, and cover it. I'm practically there. Later. Good grief. A shambles. I wonder how the head of the construction company who built this building will talk his way out of this. When Clark reaches the office building in which is located the Globe Construction Company's offices. Oops, beg your pardon. Was he in a hurry? The office door's ajar. Might just as well walk right in and make myself at home. A corpse. No doubt the head of the firm. Raise your hands and turn. Sergeant Clancy. Oh, for a moment I thought the murderer might have returned. Murderer? Odd, Kent, how you managed to show up at the scene of crimes before we do. Almost as though you were involved. And for your information, my dear amateur snooper, this bird wasn't murdered. It's plain to see he committed suicide. But Clark knows better, for his microscopic vision notes. Finger marks on the corpse's throat. He was choked before he was shot. And there's one fingerprint missing on the right hand, indicating that the killer has only 4 fingers on his right hand. A department store collapses. The head of the construction company responsible for its erection, slain. By whom? This is worth looking into. Clark visits the bereaved wife of the slain official. Is there anything you can tell me which might give me a clue as to the identity of your husband's slayer? Very little, except I know John was fronting for some greater concern, and he had some friction with his employer. This other concern, what was its name? I don't know. John never revealed it to me. When we learn what company your husband fronted for, we'll know who his murderer is. Later, at the Daily Planet. No use wasting any more of your time on that department store story, Clark. Get me some material on the costly new municipal stadium nearing completion. Okay, Taylor. Oh, wait, Clark. I'll go with you. As Lois and Clark near the grounds where the stadium is being erected. Get away from here. No visitors allowed. Well, I like that. I guess you don't know who we are. We're reporters from the Daily Planet. Reporters, eh? I don't care if you're the King of Siam. Get going, or I'll lambast you as sure as my name is Sam Goats. Look out, Clark! Hey! I told ya! Clear out of here! Surely you're not going to stand for that, Clark. Go on! Sock that bully! Me? Attack him? Only morons resort to physical violence. Only morons and cowards. Wait, let me explain. See what you've done? I'm going to report you to your employer. You'll have to go to the Jackson Construction Company, but it won't do you a lick of good. Later, when Kent reaches the Jackson Construction Company's ornate office. But Mr. Jackson, I thought... So you've a complaint, eh? Pleased to see you. Always glad to adjust these matters. Now, what's the trouble? One of your employees, a bruiser named Sam Goits, threw me off the property when I attempted to catch a glimpse of that new stadium that... Good grief. Clark notes to his amazement that Jackson's right hand possesses only 4 fingers. I'm sorry if one of my guards manhandled you with mistaken zeal. You see, our insurance company does not permit us to have visitors upon the grounds. I see. There may be no connection between the murdered man and Jackson, but they're both in the same line, and 4 fingers. Later, in a nearby alley, Jackson may have a reason that's not apparent for keeping visitors away from the stadium grounds. I'll investigate. A great leap carries the reporter, now transformed into Superman, high into the sky. I'm on my way. Shortly after, the Man of Steel streaks down atop the stadium. Here's where I butt in. As Superman experimentally grasps a portion of the stadium cement, it crumples like sand. Inferior material. Suddenly, a snooper! Get him! So, closed in on both sides. But there's plenty of empty space in this direction. Unable to stop their rush, the two forces collide. Ouch! He'll be crushed by the fall. But Superman alights unharmed. Cheap, splintery wood. You again! Don't let him get away! An easy spring carries Superman to the high flagpole. Not that I don't enjoy your company. It strains and bends beneath his weight and the force of his flight. But I like to... get around. Then, flying back, sends the Man of Tomorrow's figure streaking through the air like a released arrow. As Superman strikes Earth, get that guy! Just leave him to me! The Man of Steel retaliates. Don't do that. Pick on someone your own size. Oops. Off balance, Superman falls into a great concrete mixer. For an unexpected ride. Flailing with his mighty fist, Superman smashes his way free of his amazing prison. This is where I exit. Overhead, two workers slip from their poorly constructed scaffold. Ah! Help! Falling into a mass of hardening cement. They're doomed. Unless I do something about it. Down through the rapidly hardening cement, Superman battles his way. Reaching out, he seizes two helpless figures. Seconds later. Made it. But unless these men receive immediate medical treatment, my rescue will have been in vain. The Man of Tomorrow, covering miles in moments, streaks to a nearby hospital and turns the injured men over to the attendants. But how? Never mind. Just see to it that those men get treatment. As days elapse, the day is nearing when the new stadium opens, and when it does, Dedication Day, mobs throng into the brand new stadium. Beautiful, isn't it? An architectural triumph. Would you care to take me to the stadium's opening ceremonies, Clark? Sorry, Lois, but I'll have to pass up that invitation. Too much work. Your hard luck. I'd like nothing better than to accompany Lois, but I've an important task to attend to as Superman. Shortly after, the Man of Steel streaks down to a ledge outside the window of Jackson's office. Now for a reckoning. Within the office, I insist that you immediately sign the release which will allow me to receive payment for my company's work on the stadium, Mr. Mayor. But, Jackson, I don't think it's wise to. Never mind what you think. All I need do is let it be known that you received a cut on the Globe Construction Company's shady department store deal. Neat job, my operating through a subsidiary. Hey. I'll sign. Later, as Superman slides down the City Hall's great curved dome. I've got to prevent the mayor from signing that release. One great leap carries the Man of Tomorrow from a pillar to the mayor's window. Mayor Hanson, I strongly urge you not to sign that release. I'll make up my own mind about that if you please. Now if you'll leave me alone. As the mayor is about to sign. Don't sign that paper! What? Whoever you are, you won't get away with this intrusion! I'm summoning the guards! Ring away, for all the good it will do you. What's this? It won't budge! As though there was an army on the other side. Good heavens, you're holding off all those men with your little finger. Not bad, eh? Let go! And let you fall to your death? No, my dear Mayor, I wouldn't think of it. Shortly after, Jackson has unexpected visitors. What does this mean? It means that you're coming with me. A train! Coming straight at us! So it is. A mighty leap carries Superman and his captives over the oncoming train. See? Nothing to worry about. What manner of creature is he? Search me. Another tremendous sky vault, and the figure streaked down towards the magnificent new stadium. Behold, gentlemen, your handiwork. Unsafe. A veritable death trap. You ought to be very proud. I don't know what you're talking about. He's mad. Lois is among the many to sight the amazing scene. Superman! The Man of Steel enters an observation tower. What do you want of us? You'll learn. Soon enough. But first, an unexpected interruption. The huge stadium begins to tremble convulsively, as though caught in an earthquake. The stadium about to collapse, just as I feared. This will make you stay put while I temporarily take my leave. A great section of the structure starts to topple. Forward streaks Superman. I've gotta make it. Superman supports the huge section while its terrified occupants scamper to safety. Hurry! It won't last much longer! Superman! Help! Superman hears Lois's cry for assistance, but simultaneously, he sights Children's Section. Lois menaced, and so are those children. Who shall I save? And I've but instants to make up my mind. Never mind me! Save those children! Lois, facing death, and I'm helpless to assist her. The moment the children are safe, Superman races to a pile of wreckage. She's beneath here, if only I'm not too late. Lois, are you unhurt? A bit shaken, I guess. That's all. Where are you taking me? To a hospital. You don't fool me, young lady. You're badly injured. After depositing Lois at the hospital, Superman races back toward the stadium. I mustn't keep Jackson and the mayor waiting. In the observation tower. Thank heavens you returned! Everyone escaped but us, and the tower's beginning to crumble. I'm not doing this because I particularly like you. Another minute, and we'd have been destroyed. What a narrow escape. Escape? You forget we're still in this madman's power. Superman's outflung arm catches the rear of a plane. My, but it's getting crowded up here. Hey, what are you doing? Be patient. You'll find out. Hitchhiking, eh? Shame on you. Have you no heart? Release us, please. When the plane lands, you won't make a pretty sight. Confess to your crimes, Jackson, or I won't release you. I killed the head of my subsidiary company, and I used inferior materials in my construction jobs. And I grafted. Superman deposits the two at a police station. These two men have a story to tell that will interest you, Sergeant. Don't let him get us. Lock us up, and I'll see to it that you're promoted. Changing back to his identity of Clark Kent, the reporter hurries to the hospital within which Lois is confined. I'm afraid Miss Lane won't live without a blood transfusion. Please test my blood, and see if it's the proper type. Unnoticed, Clark tears open his own skin. This is necessary. None of their instruments could hope to pass through my impenetrable skin. Clark's blood turns out to be the proper type. There immediately follows a transfusion. It's amazing. Incredible. Your blood conforms to all four types. Shortly after. That's odd. A few moments ago she was very ill. And now look at her. Recovered. And within the space of a few seconds. Most amazing. As they depart from the hospital. How do you feel, Lois? Fine. In fact, I feel stronger than I've ever felt. Later, in the Daily Planet editorial office. Thanks to Superman, Jackson and Hanson are getting the jail terms they deserve. You have my eternal gratitude, Clark. I won't forget that your blood saved my life. It's nice to hear those kind words, Lois. With Lois more friendly, I'm tempted to forget my identity as Superman. But of course, I must go on as I have. The end.